What's going on, guys? This is Donnie with Beast Athletes. Today I'm working with Sierra and we're gonna go over strict press. Not a push press, a legitimate strict press. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show it how it should be done as far as getting into the rack, and then we're gonna twist it around for a better filming angle. So, what Sierra's gonna do, anytime you get underneath the barbell, you want to be able to step back. That's how we do things. It's what works for us. If you're stepping forward with it and then you try and rack it when you're tired, might not be the most healthy thing. So we're gonna show you how to do it correctly first. Sierra's gonna go ahead and approach the barbell. So you get your hands placed, and we're not gonna get too in depth right now on all that. We're just gonna show you how to normally do it. So go ahead, jump underneath the barbell, step back, bam, bam. And then she's gonna do 1 rep, down, and then re-rack it. That's how it should normally look, but it's not the best way for us to show you how the whole movement is gonna work. So we're gonna do it the wrong way. She's gonna jump on underneath. So for me personally, what I like to teach is, come on in, I bench with my pinky on the ring. Now, if I'm gonna do an overhead press in front, I'm gonna move it out one. I'm gonna go out to my ring finger. So my ring finger will be on the ring instead of my pinky finger on the ring. That's when I'm in the front. Now, if I go behind, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move that out one more, and I'm gonna put my middle finger on the ring. So, bench press, pinky. Overhead in front, ring. Overhead behind, middle. Now, I was taught that by big time old school bench presser. He does these things, Richard Schoenberger and CT Fletcher. You've probably heard of the front back shoulder press. You do 10 in front, 10 behind, then you go up. It's horrible, it's absolutely disgusting. But those guys taught me to widen out when I go behind because it opens up your shoulder, lets it work more, and it's not such a compacted, tight movement. You want a little bit more space. But for what we're doing, Sierra, where do you normally put your hand at?
For a bench, about a thumb distance.
So she puts her thumb out, puts it at the edge of the gnarling. Now she's gonna come out about 3/4 of an inch. So about the width of her thumb. That's where she's gonna work. It's just a little bit. It's gonna open up your chest a little bit more. It's gonna allow you to work your deltoids better. Again, different people do things differently, but this is how we teach it. This is how we do it. It's worked well for us. Doesn't mean it's gonna work perfectly for you, so find that. You might have to go a little bit wider, you might have to go a little bit more narrow, but the goal is, just like on bench press, keep your wrist underneath your elbow. You don't wanna be doing a shoulder press like a lat pull down. You don't want that. So, let's go ahead and jump underneath here, Sierra. Alrighty. So Sierra and I both have Olympic lifting backgrounds, so we might do things a little bit less rigidly bodybuilding. But one of the first things we're gonna do, you're not going to see us get way up underneath here like a CrossFit shoulder press, okay? It's not a push press yet. This is strict. So elbows stacked with your wrist. She will clear her head back. As she presses, it's gonna come forward. Go ahead down. So we're gonna come to about halfway up. As she starts that press, she's going to keep her head out of the way. Once it clears her skull, overhead support. Overhead support is basically if you took the bar where you squat from and it went straight up, that's where your overhead support system is, or position is. Right now, she's actually a little bit too directly over her head. So I'd like to see her come back a little bit more. That's your overhead support. This is gonna allow your lats, your scaps, your traps, everything to kind of turn on the best. And if you have to load that thing down, you're right there into a squat position. So go ahead back down. Head's gonna clear. Boom. Let's go ahead from 90 degrees over here. She's gonna start neutral. As she presses, head is gonna come back. She's gonna get back to neutral, overhead support. And then she comes down, same thing. Good, home. Top of the movement, overhead support. Good, one more. You can get a little bit more exaggerated in that overhead support. There it is, right there. Now, a little bit out of practice on this movement, but now it's starting to kick in a little bit. Let's go through 3 more. Beautiful. Good. So let's go ahead and take this thing from 0 degrees, come on down to your chest. One of the things that I want to focus on right now, besides our cameraman falling on his ass, is going to be Watch the wrist and the elbow. Now at the bottom and at the top, it's not going to be that perfect symmetry. But the middle piece of this movement, probably oh, she's getting tired. So the middle, probably 70% of this movement. Okay, I think my wrists are probably a little bit wider than my elbow right now. And as I come up, they're going to stack up. Vertical forearm angle, just like a vertical shin angle. And as you get to the top, they're probably a little bit wider. Once she gets a little recovered, we'll do that again. And you guys can kind of see what we're looking for, and I'll coach it up as we go. Do you need a hug?
Maybe.
Come here.
No.
Okay.
Isolation,
Right.
6 feet.
All right, 6 feet. Sorry. We're not practicing good social distancing. But this is shot before quarantine, so we're okay. Here we go. Head back, press. Good. So you see the majority of the movement, we're keeping that forearm in a pretty dang close to 0 degrees straight up and down. When I say dang, I can say damn. It's all right. Here we go. Keep moving. Kids are going to yell at me. Good. All right. So now, the most important, strict press. There's no leg movement at all. So go ahead and show a little bit of a cheating push press. Get a little bit tired, you're jerking into it, you're throwing your body into it. You might be throwing your chest back and you're doing one of these and it's an incline bench press type of a thing. That's not what we're looking for. Strict press looks like that when you're standing. Go ahead and rack it up. Now, one of the things that you can do, and it takes a minute to get set up, but if you got a rack like this, we'll do it on that one first. Take these catches up and put them up to about your nipple line. Put your bench press in the middle, and then set your barbell down on the catches. I'm not gonna fully set it up, but I'll give you guys an idea. Now, if your lower back is not happy, standing and pressing, and you're getting into some hyperextension, sit down. Sit down on a bench, toss your belt on, and you're going to start with the bar sitting on the rack, sitting on the catches, about here. So you can get it up, get it in position at about your clavicle, and then you can press from a seated position, and then when you're done, you just drop it another couple inches, and it's done. If you ever miss, it's great. You can also do that from a standing position, but as you can see, these racks are not built for that, so we get outside the rack. Now, if we come over here and we look at like a CrossFit rig type of a setup, we'll use this one. Oh, look at Sierra's clothing. All over the place, go figure. Let's say you have arms like this, same thing. You can set up on them, you can press on them. It's a really, really good tool to use. Much safer, and then you're not scared of, well, if I fail this, I'm gonna drop it on the ground or it's gonna fall on me. You have those safety catches to work with. So, anything else from a bodybuilding standpoint before I finish?
I don't think so.
Nothing too crazy. You want to control this movement. If you are sitting here and you're having to like jerk into it, you're defeating the purpose of the movement. It's a strict press. If you got to drop the weight, talk to your coach, talk to us, talk to whoever you're working with, or get over your ego. Take 20 pounds off, and if you can't move it in a safe pattern and you're sitting here jerking into it, drop the weight just a little bit. That will be super, super helpful. Now, if you're doing strict press for a bodybuilding piece, you got to be very, very disciplined in that movement. Control up, control down. Now, if you're doing more of a strength thing, you can get away with a little bit more, but your form still has to be very, very good. Because if your form isn't good, you're gonna get hurt or it's gonna fall apart as it gets heavier. The strongest people in the world are strong because their form is so damn strong at such a high level, it doesn't break down, or when it does break down, they're strong enough to kind of get through it. But if you are letting yourself get away with poor movement patterns at 40%, 50%, 60% while you're doing reps and you're wobbling all over the place and you're having to jerk into it, by the time that you get to those 90% where you're showcasing strength, it's gonna fall apart. So make sure that you're using the time, building that movement, building it correctly, building it with form. Everything is dictated on form on this movement, especially going overhead. So take care of yourselves on that. Be smart for what you're doing. If you're bodybuilding, take your time, move the weight, get the contraction. If you're strength building, be very, very smart and diligent about your form. So Hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys did, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, throw some rude comments below, and we'll get back to you on them. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.